Welcome to building a brand new gym in 5 days. This is Fitness Worx Warwick. It is our second eldest gym. We have now owned it for just under 8 years and it needed a full renovation. This is what it looks like at the very beginning and we absolutely tear it apart. And at the end, we will do a direct comparison because this gym build went from a small renovation project to a complete brand new gym build in 5 days. Let's get into it. Let's jump into day one. Day one was demolition day. We needed to get rid of these horrible wooden stairs. In true Fitness Worx style, instead of doing it strategically, which I kind of did to be fair, because my old man does do it the correct way, we just smashed it up. But we had to get those stairs down. They were annoyingly in the middle of the gym. So I was so glad when we actually managed to smash these up and get rid of them. The only one problem we did have is a lot of wood. We couldn't actually get rid of the wood. So for a few days we had a pile of scrap wood out in front of the gym. Luckily, next door had a wood furnace. So they actually came along, took all our wood and burnt it. We had a forklift. This was an absolute lifesaver. If we didn't have this forklift, it would have took us 3 weeks to get this gym done. We didn't exactly know what we were doing with it to begin with until the forklift driver arrived. My brother's drove forklift before, so he actually took over and managed to do a pretty good job. I didn't even attempt to have a go at it because I'd have ended up running somebody or something over. This was the first pack of rubber to arrive, well, crate of rubber to arrive. We had 3 crates of rubber. We had 3.5 tons of rubber to lay. That was the second floor and the ground floor. I had to quickly rush over to Kenilworth to drop off the upholstery. The upholstery man rang and was like, if you need 15 pieces doing, you need to get them to me ASAP or you're not going to have them back in time for the reopen. We had made a right mess though, so we had to have a little bit of a tidy up. Again, this Astro was moved 400 times. The red Astro is to replace that horrible green Astro. We had bought 8 mirrors. So we mirrored the far end and the side wall, put all new mirrors up. We managed to complete 7 of them and smashed one. Well, we didn't smash one, someone else smashed one, but that is a whole other story. I absolutely hated that green Astro and I'm so glad it is gone. We had to move all the rubber. This is the old 6 foot by 4 foot rubber and it is horse matting. It's not the best rubber and it weighs about 40 kilos a sheet. But the forklift kept pulling it up, so the forklift wouldn't move. And once you had heavy gym equipment and this rubber on the forklift, it was just an absolute nightmare. This was the hardest, but probably the most beneficial and rewarding part of the gym build. Back in the day, me and my old man and my brother, we built these platforms ourselves. We just used MDF, old rubber from under AstroTurfs, and then kind of 20mm horse matting. The platforms were made out of MDF and they were slightly raised above the old rubber, which meant they got chipped, battered, and they were just painted pieces of wood. We got our grey 4 metre by 1 metre platforms that we've now installed in Southam and Stratford. They weigh a ton and they are great. They look smart, you can brand them. We made sure this time though that the platforms sat about 5 to 10mm below the rubber. So when people drop barbells, it doesn't chip the edge and they stay looking fresh for a long period of time. The main job was this, the mezzanine. We made a mistake here. This mezz, we didn't realise you had to specify a colour. So we ended up with a off red / rusty looking mezz, which in the end, once it's up, like you'll see later in the video, doesn't look too bad. It actually looks quite nice. But at the time, we were a bit gutted because we didn't think that we needed to change it. We didn't think we needed to specify a new colour. But these boys, you can see driving the forklift, did a good job. Again, moving stuff over and over and over again. Squat rack, moved that 400 times. That is now on the second floor. Painter didn't arrive on the first day. These things happen on gym builds. We always end up with things going wrong, things not turning up on time, people not turning up on time. And sometimes you just got to jump in and have a go yourself. And we needed this end painted so we could get the new platforms and new rubber down. So we all jumped on the roller and rolled out, got rid of that old black paint, and put this new shiny paint on. The problem with the matte paint before, it marked so easy. This is a bit of a sheen, which means now when people rub against it, it doesn't actually mark. So we had the trainers, Jacob, the manager there, my brother, me, my dad, all jumped on the rollers and managed to actually get the whole back end done, as you can see. That meant we could then get on with the platforms and we could finish off the far end so we could move all the kit onto that end so we could do the middle. Mez halfway up, they started from the far end down to where we just removed the stairs. In total, we have just over 1,000 square foot of extra space in that gym now. The old man on the paintbrush trying to fill in the gaps that we messed up. This is a very old, well, new, but very old steel tower. Painter did arrive finally on the second day, but we needed to get this in complete, like I said earlier. So we had to jump on this very shaky thing to paint the top where we've never painted before. As you can see, it was white, the bottom was black. We kind of liked it, but we needed to get to the roof. So we got on this little shaky tower, which I built myself. And it did work. We pushed it around a little bit. It did shake a lot at the top and it got extremely hot, but it got the job done. The only problem is it does move a lot and you do feel like you're going to fall off. Before, in the past, we've had a proper scissor lift with wheels, which we broke originally. But we couldn't have it in this job because you can see behind me, it's just a load of gym kit. I think next time what we will do is we will hire an Arctic and we'll put all the gym kit outside in the car park, inside the Arctic, which will make the job 50 times quicker. At this point of the gym build, we were questioning whether we could get it open for Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. Everything became extremely hard. We didn't realise working around how difficult it would be working around the gym kit. Decorator not turning up didn't help, and it was quite a high stress environment. In the background, while we are painting this wall badly, the boys are still getting up the mez. It did go up extremely fast. I was quite surprised. It's like a giant Meccano set. By the end of the first day, the mezzanine was up with the supporting beams inside it. That was done in a day. So there's 1,000 square foot mez built in a day. I don't know if that's good, I don't know if that's bad, but it seemed pretty fast to me. We finally got all the painting done down the far end, so it was time to cut in the new rubber. Once again, we're moving more gym equipment, and this stuff, this Nautilus kit, weighs a ton. So we just had to kind of muscle it around. In the end, 4 of us just picked it up because trying to rotate it and roll it all the time is an absolute nightmare. So all us boys just picked up the hack squat, picked up the leg extension, moved it back onto where the new rubber was, then had to move the old knackered tower to the other wall to paint the final bit of white that ends. As you can see, there's a lot of moving around, so a simple job takes twice as long. We had to cut the bolts off the rig because they were going over the new platforms. They were kind of penetrating the bottom of the platform, and we didn't want that because these platforms cost a lot of money, they look great, and the last thing we want is a bolt hole in the middle of it. So we had to cut those bolts off. The underneath of the old platforms was screwed down, so we had to take that off, just like I said earlier on in the video. We didn't want the platform to be over the rubber. So we just had to have a bit of a fiddle around, but in the end we got it fitting just perfect. All 3 platforms are now down. By the end of day 1, we had the platforms down and fitting just perfect. Day 2 was chaotic. We got a lot done that day. We made a huge dent in the work we needed to complete. The mez was up, built, stairs in, floor down, rubber, 10mm rubber was installed, and we were ready for the gym kit to go upstairs. Start of day 3, we got the treadmills upstairs, we had the leg extension, we had all the gym kit that was already in the gym that was getting in the way, that needed to go upstairs. We moved it upstairs. It was a bit dodgy moving a 300 kilo leg press, leg extension and treadmill up the stairs on crappy pallets, to say the least. The pallets that we had were shite and the gym kit weighs a ton. You can see there how much work we did in day 2. The gym looked fairly finished, a right mess, but we had handrails, we had rubber, We had a couple of white walls. This is the decorator. Got all the black, well, the previously was white. We got all the black complete. And we were ready for the big day. The big day is the gym kit delivery. This was on the Monday morning. Here we are still moving the old gym kit upstairs. Once again, moving this fucking squat rack. I must have moved it so many times. In the end, I was fed up of it. Just kept getting in the way. We needed Lance there, the electrician, because it's pitch black inside. But this squat rack needed to go upstairs. The only problem is once we got it upstairs and we're about to build it, we realised that we actually lost the bolts. So we don't have any bolts for the squat rack, so we had to leave it leant up against that wall, as you can see in the far right-hand corner. This is the day all the gym kit arrived. We had someone on the forklift that actually knew how to drive a forklift properly. But we had all our new gym kit arrive. We had chest presses, leg extensions, hamstring curls, assisted dip and pull-ups, calf raises. We had loads of new gym kit arrive. This was all due to go on the second floor. And as you can see, we did try and get it in the second floor from the outside, but it just wasn't happening. Me and Matty made sure we checked out all the kit, tried it out before we actually put it in the gym. It was all pretty sweet. This was reconditioned kit, so it has been used before, but it's been to the powder coat, it's been resprayed. In total, we had 13 new machines to install. We took over the whole car park, which people weren't very impressed with. But where else do you put all this gym kit? Like, you can't just drop it down. Look, it took up the whole car park. We did try and let some people through, but there was a few block cars until we got it inside. Problem is, it takes up so much space, we couldn't put that all inside. We had to kind of move stuff around before we could put it all in, because that would take up most of the downstairs gym space. Back to the health and safety nightmare, loading all the machines upstairs. Luckily, this handrail moved in and out, so we had to move the handrail a few times. We also had to make sure that the machines were pulled on this wood, because it kept pulling up the rubber, and then the rubber would get stuck under the pump truck. Pump truck was one of the best things we bought, by the way. We bought it off Marketplace for 70 quid on the Friday. That was an absolute literal lifesaver, because I think our backs would have been in tatters. In the end, we got majority of the gym kit upstairs. Since doing this, we've actually moved the gym kit around again, but we got it all into place, and all the members absolutely love it. We got a few cables needed tightening up. We've got one machine that's built slightly wrong. There's a lot of teething issues that need fixing. That's the problem when you buy second-hand or reconditioned gym kit, that when the people rebuild them, they're not always built perfectly. So you have to take things around, put new washers in, and make sure that the gym kit's running smoothly. We actually upgraded all the wires and cable on the new machines, because they were done well, but we wanted to make sure that they were bulletproof. As you can see there, the treadmills and Stairmasters were put into place. These machines were so heavy, because obviously they're all fully loaded with plates, metal, everything. These Gym 80, it's German, so it's built incredibly well. Problem is, they are an absolute nightmare to move. Like, they must have weighed 300, 400 kilos. I think this is where my brother crushed me behind the machine. Yeah, he did, yeah, that's where I got crushed behind the machine. Bicep curl, great machine that was. Absolutely great machine. You've got bicep curl, low row. You've got a lion hamstring curl there. And then the final job of the day, as you can see, it's getting pretty dark outside, was moving the 3 ton of bumper plates back up to the far end. This is what the gym looked like on the 4th evening. It was an absolute bomb site. We had the mirrors to put up, we had the flooring to finish, we had squat racks to build, we had gym kit to get back into position. We were running a little bit behind schedule. We were due to open in 24 hours. We had probably 48 hours worth of work to do. We did have lights downstairs, which was a bonus. We didn't have the LEDs in, we didn't have the red in. The reception was nearly done. We had a hole in it, as you can see. But most of the gym, we had broke the back of it. We just had to do the final finishing touches. We had all the LEDs to install. We managed to get the rig up before we went home. By the end of this day, I think my old man was on his last life, in actual fact. I was absolutely shattered, but we continued working through until I think about 7 p.m. the night before. As you can probably see, we were due to open 6 a.m. the next day, which we had to postpone. We had to push it back until 12 o'clock. When we opened, people were training in the gym, but we were still finally fixing up little bits. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave you a montage of what the gym looks like and let me know what you think. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and I'll see you next time.